Williams, and I'm here to talk to you about a company that we have called Spaces. Spaces is a company that provides quality spaces for family, friends, and organizations. We focus heavily on customer satisfaction and building bridges with community. So essentially, we are just an organization that wants to provide a way for friends, families, organizations, peers, anybody who has a group of people that need a space to rent. We are here to provide that for you. So how you can do that is you can go to our website at spaces.com, and there you'll be able to click on all the available spaces we're going to have, and then you can choose one that best fits your needs. So our slogan is no space, no problem. We essentially just want to provide a space for people who don't have a building for their organization. I know a lot of college students and families and maybe churches or nonprofits, they don't have a building of their own, so we want to be the ones that provide that space for them when they have an event. So our company started when 5 college students came together and decided that they had all these different organizations they're involved in, but they didn't have a way to host events. So they decided to come with the idea for us to find a way for people to rent our spaces. So it's kind of going to work like other companies like Airbnb and Uber that just have a website, and one day we hope to open up our very own app, and people will just be able to go onto the website and then find the space that way. As far as working for our company, we do need employees for our HR team, our public relations team, marketing team, advertising team, our directors, and people who work one-on-one with our clients. And to apply for those jobs, you'll just have to go to our website and then click on be a part of our team. And there you'll be able to apply and submit your resume, and one of our HR members will reach out to you and then ask you for an interview date. If you want to apply to have your space rented, you'll have to go online also on our website and submit pictures of your space that you would like to rent, and we'll either say yes, you're good to go, or no, we don't want to rent your space out right now. And then your space will be available online for people to look at when they're trying to choose for their event. Lastly, we just want to talk about boundary passages. So in our organization, once you get hired to be a part of our team and work for us, we do ask that you would submit another application whenever you want to move to a different job area for our company, and you can also go through your boss and ask him or her if you would be able to work in a different job area at Spaces, if that's something you would eventually want to do. Next, I'm going to have Nick come, and he's going to talk about our budget.
Thank you, JC. My name is Nick Kessler, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the budgetary and financial details of Spacious. First of all, I'd like to say that we at Spacious believe that we are coming up with a very creative, innovative, and revolutionary idea. The idea of space sharing, event sharing sort of thing is something that we believe is something that just has not quite been done before, and with the 5 of us starting up and then eventually with others added to the team, we believe that we can conceptualize this idea to make it into one of the more popular event planning services out there, starting here in the Springfield community, and we would like to eventually obviously grow nationally and then maybe one day even globally. So therefore, we believe with this creative, original idea that an initial $1 million investment will definitely help us along the way in getting our creative ideas and making our product, our service come together. Now, in our portfolio, I have created a detailed spreadsheet budget. I won't go through everything on that today, as you can see it in the portfolio, but I would just like to go over a few of the sections. First of all, we would like to have our own space to set up a company headquarters. So therefore, we just need a little bit of startup money to pay for rent, insurance, furnishing of the building, computers, just any sort of other, creative things that we need to make our idea happen. And then from there, we'll move on to like a cost of doing business. Now, we are different from a traditional startup company. As I mentioned, we are more of a service-based company. So therefore, we don't really need money for like factory materials, raw materials to create some sort of good or service. Rather, we need money to help create some sort of advertising campaign. Start off with getting some local celebrities here in Springfield to kind of endorse Spaces to get the word out towards the rest of the community. Also, we'd also like to have some solid legal team, a solid group of lawyers on retainer, so to help us come up with the contracts so that the people who are sharing they're sharing their space and the people who will be using the space just know what they're getting themselves into before they sign on. Now, from there, we'll just have other miscellaneous costs. A unique thing that we will have also are company vehicles with our Spaces logo on the sides of the vehicle. So when people see us driving around town, they'll notice that we're out and about doing on-site event site surveys to make sure that everything is going well. Now, in terms of return on investment, like I said, we believe here at Spaces that we are a very creative, innovative company. We are doing something that's never been done before, and we believe that within the next 5 years that your initial $1 million investment will be returned with interest after we have been able to develop everything and start to see the profits grow in. And as JC mentioned, we will have a website, but we would also like to eventually move on to having a mobile app as well. And mobile application development can be a little expensive, and we want to make sure we get the best of the best so we can create a very unique, user-friendly app that people will have no problem using and enjoy using at the same time. So thank you for your time, and now Bree will come up and talk to you about the organizational processes here at Spaces.
Thank you, Nick. Hello everybody, I'm Bree Sundet. I'm going to tell you about a few of our plans for our organizational processes. I'm going to briefly cover our approach to management, our decision making, conflict within the organization, and the changing work environment. So starting with our approach to management, our organization is going to offer training opportunities as well as mentors. We value open lines of communication and participation, and we will give clear guidelines for job descriptions. All of these combined closely align us with the human resource management. Our higher management employees will also be privy to job security, and our external employees, those who are offering up their spaces for us to rent, they will be allowed to stick around until they decide that they need to leave. Under decision making, our organization expects that our external employees will be able to make their own decisions based on their own experiences in their own spaces. Our upper management, however, will use something close to the spiral model. The spiral model, which was proposed by Scheidel and Crowell, suggests that groups don't follow a linear progression when making decisions. They may start off in the orientation phase, move to the conflict phase, and then perhaps to the emergence phase. Then they might go back to the conflict stage and keep hopping around until they finally reach a conclusion. This kind of creates that spiral effect. Under conflict, we understand that asking our external employees to rent out their spaces to complete strangers is really daunting and risky, and we want to try and keep everybody as safe as possible. So our organization will attempt to create guidelines and policies to keep people safe. These will involve things like screening processes and background checks for our external employees before we hire them on, as well as for the people who wish to rent through us. Conflict styles that stand out that we might see in our organization a lot might be intrapersonal and intergroup. Under intrapersonal, we don't want our external employees to feel like they're required to rent out their space if it becomes too overbearing or if it conflicts with their life at some point. So they will be allowed to leave anytime they need to. Under intergroup, we understand that there could also be conflicts that arises between our external employees and our higher management employees. So we will attempt to keep our lines of communication as open as possible and offer lots of opportunities for feedback. Under the changing work environment, our organization is based on the cooperation of a lot of external resources, and so we understand that as we bring people on board and people choose to leave, our culture and our values are going to change and shift, which closely matches the systems theory. And now Brian is going to come up and talk to you a little bit about the transitions and exit processes of our organization.
Hi everybody, my name is Brian Schmidt, and like Bree mentioned, I'll be talking about the transition and exit phase that we expect for our organization to happen. So now, promotions work a little bit differently in our organization. There's not really a lot of room for title advancement, but there is other room for promotions with making more money and more marketing. Now the way that we're going to handle that is our employees that are renting spaces out to the people if their apartment is more cleanly, has more cleanliness than other spaces, and is more marketable, then we'll give them more marketing space on our website or more money at the cut that there'll be a bigger cut from. So that's the promotion. We really don't have a whole lot of, like I said, title advancement, but there is room to make more money for promotions. Now I'll be talking about the exit phase that we expect some of our employees to have. Now, I don't expect our employees to have just this job. I expect them to have another job to help make more money. So there's a couple of career opportunities or career changes that they might go through where they move to another location, or they need the opportunity to make more money. So I expect some of our employees to go do that. Also, there's going to be some voluntary exits in our organization that I expect. Two of them, which being shocks and gradual disenchantment. Now, some shocks that I expect us to happen in our organization are things get damaged, things get broken. People might get a little upset about that, especially if it is a close item to their person. So it could be a shock to them and just want to get out right away. The other one, like I said, is gradual disenchantment. Since our renters, our employees have to keep up with the cleanliness of their house, always have room for doors that we might do in the future. People might get tired of doing that, and just so at some point you might just want to exit our organization, just be like, kind of done with this. But that's some exits that I do expect our organization to have. But I'll move on to the future of Spacious. So making an organization is kind of tough, especially when you first create it, and we don't have a lot of money to start out with our company. So some future things that we do want to create, we do want to create an app, like Nick mentioned, to help be unique and more accessible to our employees and our renters. So that's one thing we do want to do. And then we do want to make more marketing for those employees that may have promotions. So I put them on the front page of our website, or just more marketing around town, or even on our cars. And the last thing that we want to do is obviously make room for expansion. We want to expand out to towns, cities, and even states if we can, just to make more, just to have the word out there that our business is growing and is alive. If you guys don't have any questions, I just want to say thank you and listening for our business program.